The world of anime features some seriously creative and unique characters, from the ever-blossoming heroes to the dark anti-heroes and everything in between. Some anime characters develop their special abilities through strenuous training, while some need that little push to awaken their hidden powers. Hello and welcome back to Animeology. Today we shall be discussing some anime characters that awaken their hidden powers in a fight. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Sadao Mao, the devil is a part-timer. You're probably wondering how Satan ended up as an employee of McRonald. Let's go back to where it all started. Ruler of the dark lands of Ente Isla, where Demon Lord Satan has conquered the world and annexed its 4 continents. Despite this, his castle gets besieged by an army of humans, consequently forcing him to escape through a magical gate into modern-day Tokyo. Wanting to live a changed life as Sadao Mao, on very few occasions do we get to see the true demonic form of Satan. Despite his cool and calm nature, if you get on the wrong side of Mao, you best be ready to face the wrath that comes along with it. Mao rushes to City Hall, where Sariel has captured Emily, torturing her to give him her sacred sword. With the help of Lucifer, one of his friends, Mao gets an enormous boost of mana, awakening his true demonic form. 10 times his original size, devil horns sticking out of his head, and with a perfectly built body, Sariel can't mimic even a fraction of Satan's powers. Eyes burning amber red, a menacing smile reaching each end of its face, Satan summons his demonic blade and rips apart the existence of Sariel. Titan, tact op. Destiny and Tact have been the most formidable dynamic duo throughout this masterclass of a series, but in this situation, I believe Lyney and Titan deserve their own spot, especially after the way Titan gave it her all for this one last stance. In the year 2047, a future where music cannot be played freely because monsters called D2s get attracted to the melodious sound and thus cause absolute havoc. Lyney and Titan are the 2 teachers who train Tact and Destiny to become one of the best fighting duo the music world has ever seen. Lyney shields Tact from the merciless Tengoku, who shows no remorse when firing continuous rounds into Lyney, his blood splattering onto Tact's face. Rejecting the pain pumping in his body, Lyney stands up with a smile and unleashes the full power of Titan. Blank eyes, a sober face, and 2 shotguns, one in each hand, Titan dances to the sound of music, blasting her bullets into Tengoku's face. Their masterclass performance concludes with a series of shotguns, bursting like colorful fireworks in the night sky. The atomic force of Titan's full powers compels Sagan and Tengoku to retreat, defeat Rin all over their face. However, having taken too much damage, Lyney falls on his knees, the curtains drawing to a close on their last but memorable performance. Atsushi Nakajima, Bungo Stray Dogs. Kicked out of his orphanage and made to live on the streets, Atsushi one day comes across a drowning man, Osamu Dazai, who in reality is trying to attempt suicide. Nonetheless, he pulls Dazai out, both end up having dinner together. Whimsical suicide enthusiast and supernatural detective, Osamu has been searching the whereabouts of a berserk white tiger in the moonlight. The pieces of the puzzle fall in place when he encounters the man who saved him from a so-called drowning. As night falls, Atsushi awakens his inner demon, the same white tiger that Osamu has been seeking. But Dazai is no pushover, as even with all that power, Atsushi comes nowhere near the master detective in terms of skill. He later gets recruited into the agency where he comes across other ability users like him, tackling special cases and reaching the heart of the city of Yokohama. Mirai Kuriyama, Beyond the Boundary. Being a full-fledged warrior, one usually doesn't run away whenever danger comes knocking, but that really isn't the case for Mirai Kuriyama, a spirit world warrior and the last surviving member of her spirit hunting clan, who protects humans from being affected by Yomu. Her story cut short, she can't face the Yomu that has creeped into her humble abode, and to muster up the courage to face it, practices on her immortal friend Akihito by killing him every day. Frustrated by this, Akihito decides to help her kill the Yomu once and for all. Arriving at her place, Mirai switches on the lights to check if any changes have taken place. That is when suddenly, the light starts flickering and the faucet tap goes off. Mirai forges a sword out of her blood and stands her guard, ready to face the wretched Yomu. Wrapped like a mummy, levitating in midair, the Yomu appears and pounces on Akihito, but Mirai comes to the rescue and cuts it down, yet fails to crush its eye, allowing it to escape. Close behind, Mirai splashes droplets of her blood onto the Yomu's made-up wings, causing it to fall before finally with a single blow crushing its eye, thus overcoming her fear of killing a Yomu. Saya Otonashi, Blood Plus. Saya Otonashi, a beautiful girl with a normal life, doesn't remember what her life was a few years back. Suffering from amnesia and anemia are just two of the drawbacks to her perfect life. But little does she know what those blurry years hold. Her past comes haunting like a big, bad dream when she gets a surprise visit from a mysterious creature that feeds on human blood. The creature chases her to a dead end, and when it seems like all hope is lost, a man named Hagi appears to her rescue. Making her drink his own blood by an affectionate kiss, Saya quickly enters a trance and effortlessly slays the monster with her own blood. Now we know why she suffers from anemia. Mina Tepes, Dance in the Vampire Bund. This story revolves around Mina Tepes, princess ruler of all vampires. Like other vampires, Mina has been in hiding with her people for many years. Seeking to end centuries of isolation, Mina gains permission to create a special district for vampires called the Bund. Using her family's wealth to pay off the nation's debt, they allow her to build a safe haven for her kind. This quest for world peace between vampires and humans isn't accepted by each and every one with open arms. Akira Kaburagi rebels to this idea, calling the whole thought a fiasco and getting very much uncomfortable whenever the topic of vampires is brought up. Apart from a head injury over a year ago, Akira lives a peaceful life until he comes across Mina, who turns his world upside down. Who would have thought? The man in the forefront against vampires is actually in truth a werewolf. Mina awakens the closed-off memories of Akira's past life, where he would time and time again protect Mina out of pure love. Besieged by extremist vampires and humans alike, Mina and Akira now work together to put an end to the century-long hate against vampires and humans. Takashi Nanase, Maho Senso. Takashi Nanase is an ordinary high school student and has somewhat of a dark and troubled past. On his way to kendo practice, he comes across a girl named Mui Aiba, who he has never met before. Nursing her back to consciousness, instead of thanking him, she accidentally turns him into a magician. Suganashi, Mui's brother who doesn't recognize her, sends ghost trailers to bring back Mui to the magical world. Takashi fends off these brutes with abilities that he never thought he had before. Dodging, ducking, and retaliating with abnormal strength in his hits. He successfully bests one of the ghost trailers before jumping out of the medical room with Mui close to him. He later understands that his interaction with Mui for so long has left her magic dust onto him, making him a magician as well. It's now to Takashi to help save the crumbling magical world that Mui came from, bringing her brother to his senses and preventing the Second Great Magic War from taking place. Jin Kanzaki, Zetman.
Here is the finishing blow!
We've all dreamt of being a superhero at least once in our lifetime, but for Jin Kanzaki, our dreams are his reality. This is the story of a young boy, created biologically in a lab to have superhuman abilities and help humans against creatures called players. The story follows two friends and rivals who often face off against each other. One of them born to a rich family, whereas the other, Kanzaki, living on the streets and barely making ends meet. One fateful day, a villainous player, possessing the ability to kill people with his long, sharp tongue, follows Jin and his newly made friend, Obasan, who treats him just like a loving mother. But this happiness wasn't meant to last, as the player emerges and murders Obasan. Witnessing his world collapse into countless pieces, Jin awakens the Z-Man chained inside of him. Heartbeat echoing in his ears, eyes dilated, emotions erupting everywhere, Jin catches the player's long tongue and tosses him with all his might before punching him with every ounce of his strength, eventually killing him. Seigi, Taboo Tattoo. After saving a homeless man from some thugs, Seigi receives a strange tattoo from the man as a gift. This act leads to a series of events that pull Seigi into the middle of a conflict between a special US Army unit and the Kingdom of Celestion as they scramble to collect Power Crest, weaponize ancient artifacts with the ability to shift the balance of power in the world. A strange looking tattoo at first, but later to awaken the superpowers in him. Seigi works day and night to restore justice around him. But little does he know that his act of kindness is giving birth to an even greater power. The special tattoo given to him by a homeless man enables him to cause a void, which destroys everything around him. Seigi activates the void mark when facing off against another tattoo user who beats the living daylights out of him. Pinned to the ground and barely conscious, as a defensive mechanism, Seigi brings to life the void, destroying the enemy with a single blow of its power. Mind you, this tattoo has a slight drawback. It has a mind of its own and refuses to comply with Seigi's orders. And well, the rest is history. Son Goku, Dragon Ball Z. Almost every transformation Goku has underwent has occurred during a fight of some kind, but none compared to the first time ever that the world witnessed the birth of a Super Saiyan. Arriving on planet Namek in hopes of using its Dragon Balls to revive their friends, Goku and the Z-Fighters find themselves helpless against the godlike might of Frieza. Even after taking the full brunt of Goku's most powerful Spirit Bomb yet, he emerges with nothing but some mere scratches. Frozen still at his sight, Goku is unable to stop Frieza from killing his friends. First, he takes out Piccolo with a death beam, then detonates the key inside Krillin, ending him. Utterly helpless to save his friends, the anger inside Goku finally reaches its threshold, giving birth to the legendary Super Saiyan. Hair turned golden yellow, eyes sparkling blue, and an aura enveloping his body. Even the likes of Frieza is no match against sheer will.